The film begins with Chief Ryan escaping from the United States because of his gambling problems. He arrives at a Latin American airport and encounters a driver eagerly waiting for him. During their journey, the driver hands Ryan a letter containing the password to the house door. Eventually, they reach Ryan's friend's house, nestled in the heart of the forest. Upon entering, he was taken aback by the beauty of the house. He proceeded to cook a meal for himself and enjoyed it in peace. Suddenly, his friend made an appearance, and they shared a meal, drinks, and laughed together. The following morning, Jack woke Ryan up and presented him with a new pair of shoes. They went for a run together. Later on, they pound for exploring the city. Jack brought his friend Ryan to a quaint restaurant where they savored a delicious meal. While there, they encountered Alice, a tourist who was unfamiliar with the area. Jack, Ryan, and Alice decided to have drinks together at the restaurant, and afterwards, she joined them at their apartment in the forest. Jack and Ryan, both skilled in the culinary arts, prepared meals for Alice. After tasting their dishes, Alice deemed Ryan the superior cook. Subsequently, Alice chose to spend the night with Jack, leaving Ryan to sleep alone. The following day, Ryan received a message informing him that his departure from town had been discovered by the individuals he had been gambling with. They also mentioned in their message that he had 3 days left before they would track him down. Jack informs Ryan that he has escorted Alice back to her hotel and mentions that he has some unfinished business to attend to before leaving Ryan at home. Left alone, Ryan decides to access his friend's computer and discovers a substantial amount of money in his friend's savings account. Alarmed, he promptly shuts down the computer. Later that evening, while in the company of Jack, Ryan inquires about Jack's occupation. Jack reveals that he works for a well-paying agency. The following morning, as Ryan awakens, he is shocked to find Jack's lifeless body hanging. Ryan is unsure of how to handle his friend's lifeless body. During the night, he decides to submerge it in the water. The following morning, Ryan returns to his friend's computer in an attempt to access his funds. This leads him to contact an agency that specializes in creating counterfeit cards. He instructs the agency to produce a driver's license under his friend Jack's name, using his image. Ryan was in town when he encountered a mysterious woman who turned out to be Jack manager Imogene. Despite never having met Jack or her bodyguard before, Imogene mistook Ryan for Jack and began discussing business matters. Ryan decided to play along, pretending to be Jack, in order to grasp the situation and rectify any misunderstandings. The gamblers sent him a photo of his mother as a threat to demand their money back, prompting Jack to ask Imogene for an advance of $50,000 and instructing her to link their bank accounts. Imogene, accompanied by her guard Maurice and Jack, ventured into the downtown area to kill people and bring them home to cook. Imogene informed them that they would return tomorrow to gather killed people for the upcoming party. The following day, Maurice requested Jack to select one individual emerging from the church in order to pursue them. Jack directed his finger towards a young woman accompanied by her grandmother. They trailed closely behind them, but suddenly lost sight of them. They stepped out of the car and searched everywhere. Eventually, they stumbled upon a young man named Jose, who was busy repairing shoes. Maurice called out to Jose for help in fixing his broken-down car. However, in a shocking turn of events, Maurice shot Jose and concealed his body before Officer Gallo arrived with the 2 women they had been following earlier. Officer Gallo questioned them about their motives for following the women, but they vehemently denied doing so. Instead, they claimed to be searching for a suitable location to invest in and build a hotel. The body was brought home, and Imogene instructed Jack to prepare dinner within a span of 5 hours. After handling the meat, Maurice notified Jack about a mail that had been delivered to his room. Jack proceeded to take a shower and subsequently opened the mail, revealing the UK driving license that he had acquired through the black market in order to get the saving money from his dead friend's account. Jack attempted to flee, only to be informed that there is no escape from this enterprise. During the nighttime, the agency extends an invitation to a couple of guests. Maurice accompanies them initially, but then returns to fetch the remaining guests. At this moment, Imogene receives a call informing her that 2 policemen, Detective Ruiz and Officer Gallo, have arrived at the gate. Imogene instructs the gatekeeper to grant them entry. Detective Ruiz proceeds to question Imogene about Maurice's whereabouts, to which she responds that he has left for work. The detective then inquires about Jack, an American individual. In an attempt to provide clarity, Detective Ruiz presents a photograph of a man who was supposedly executed, a man whom Jack claims not to have seen. Imogene approaches the guests and informs them that the individuals in the kitchen are law enforcement officers. As Imogene and our team, we assume the role of a property development company, while you, as the guests, pretend to be the investors. Maurice appears and informs Detective Ruiz that he possesses no knowledge regarding the whereabouts of the young man he is in search of. Detective Ruiz then proceeds to inform Imogene that approximately every 9 months, our city experiences cases of missing individuals, and he proceeds to question the investors regarding the vanished man. During the midst of the situation, Alice arrives in search of Jack. Imogene grants Alice permission to use the restroom. Alice observes Imogene referring to Ryan as Jack. Once Imogene departs, Alice inquires about the reason behind the nickname and Jack's whereabouts. Ryan informs her that Jack has returned to the UK. Alice notices Ryan wearing Jack's watch, and he mentions that Jack had given it to him before his departure. Alice sprints towards her vehicle and realizes that the car battery is completely drained. Detective Ruiz joins the gathering for dinner, along with the rest of the group. As he indulges in the delicious meat, he can't help but repeatedly express his admiration for the delectable cuisine. Jack encounters Imogene in the kitchen and inquires about what he should do if he wishes to depart. In response, she remorsefully informs him that there is no escape, leaving him filled with regret. Jack assisted the group and departed with a note instructing Detective Ruiz to meet him in the kitchen. With no other option, Jack divulged the information to Detective Ruiz, causing the detective to vomit what he ate. Subsequently, Jack escorts Detective Ruiz into the slaughter room and presents all the details. Meanwhile, Maurice enters the room and fatally attacks the detective in Jack's absence. Jack returned indoors to discover that both the detective and Alice were dead in the slaughter room. Jack and Maurice tidy up the area. The following morning, Imogene instructs Maurice to implant a GPS tracker into Jack's neck. She also informs Jack that their upcoming mission will take place in Africa. The film concludes with Jack returning to London, still retaining the name Jack.